News Rants, a podcast about news stories that could get a bit ranty. All views expressed on News Rants are those of myself and any contributors. Hello, welcome to an episode of News Rants. I'm Paul. My hair's trying to make an appearance where it shouldn't be, if you're watching on the video on YouTube. So, this is the episode of News Rants where I think of the legacy that outgoing Prime Minister Boris Johnson has left behind. Now in 2019, when he got elected under the promise of getting Brexit done. Now, they've made a bit of a half-assed job of that, because there's still issues surrounding Northern Ireland that haven't been resolved, which, the EU seem to be a bit funny about that, and we haven't been able to do anything about it either. So, Boris' legacy is Brexit. He got it done for the main part, but you've got all the Ramonas like the fake Lord Andrew Adonis, I refuse to acknowledge him as a lord, Stop Brexit man Steve Bray, and quite a lot of others that want to rejoin the EU, which, that's never going to happen, so don't even bother. So, the one thing that I really disliked Boris Johnson actually doing was this.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
That was Boris Johnson in March 2020, 23rd of March 2020, announcing the first lockdown for COVID-19. If he bothered to look at Sweden, he would have seen it was unnecessary. We had a pandemic plan in place for pandemics, even though this was quite a new and unknown virus at the time. I've had it twice. I actually had it before it was allegedly in the country, believe it or not. So did my mum and so did my brother. All three of us had COVID before it was even said to be here. So it's been here a lot longer than people actually think. So the lockdown wasn't necessary. People were getting COVID long before they said it was here. There you go. So there you go. So that's the one thing that I really took exception to Boris doing. I was actually in tears that night. I actually saw it on the BBC News, but obviously at that point I hadn't realised what the BBC were up to, and, But now I know what the BBC have been up to. They've been spewing propaganda, and a lot of it is now anti-Boris, and they wanted, like the Labour Party, for us to lock down earlier, harder, and basically close absolutely everything down. The country is now in a cost of living crisis, which is partly to do with those lockdowns and partly to do with Boris Johnson focusing on net zero. We've got very little in the way of coal power stations left, got very little in the way of gas storage left. We've got some gas power stations, but this is the legacy that Boris Johnson leaves behind to either Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak. So, but you can't really leave a legacy like that. Basically, the country's on its knees financially. People might not be able to heat their houses and feed themselves or their children this coming winter because of the price of electricity and gas. I'm lucky until February. Once February comes, I might not be that lucky. So, it's disgraceful and disgusting. Boris Johnson is leaving behind a legacy of, ruination. He had an 80-seat majority. He promised to get Brexit done, which is why I voted Conservative at that last general election, which I now really regret, because look what's happened. This has happened. We've just got to hope that the next Prime Minister, which I am certain is going to be Liz Truss, lesser of two evils, I might add, will sort this problem out, because if you let Rishi Sunak in there, he's going to make it worse. So, so there is a third contender, a bit of a joke contender, but a third contender nonetheless. You'll like this one. So, I'll accept cookies. You will like this one. And we at News Rants approve of this. So... Oh. That wasn't meant to happen, was it? My green screen's not working. Let's put that back on. There we go. I'm having issues with my green screen. Don't mind me. I'm not used to operating with a green screen. There's only so that's if you're watching on the YouTube channel. But you'll like this next one. So there we go. Larry the cat, the chief mouser to the cabinet office. He's thrown his collar into the ring. So, what do you think of that one? Larry the cat as Prime Minister. I approve of that. He's a better Prime Minister than the two candidates. For those of you listening in audio only, behind me is an image from the website larry4leader.com. Use the hashtag larry4leader on your Twitter. Trust me, this cat needs our support. That's the legacy you leave behind, Boris. We think the cat is better than you. So there you go. That's enough of that. Yeah, we think the cat is better than you. So he has a meow festo, does our Larry. Treats when you dangle a feather. Responsible fiscal policy. Meals for every child, wet food for every kitten. Cats to decide when boxes are ready for recycling. No more Downing Street parties without Larry. He's the only candidate with clean paws. No more political cat fights. Calm and civil discourse only, please. Decriminalisation and regulation of catnip markets. No lying in number 10 unless it's on a comfy cushion. Showing the nation that our current political system is neither fair nor democratic, and that the fate of our country being decided by 160,000 people is not only antiquated, it's damaging. Yes, we will have Larry the cat in there. So, that's your legacy, Boris. The cat is better than you at running the country. If Larry was in charge, we wouldn't be in this situation, I don't think. So, now I'm feeling a bit better. So, yes. So, Boris Johnson's legacy. Lockdowns, ruining the country, green net zero claptrap and the climate scam that he seems to have bought into thanks to his wife Carrie, ruining the country. And, you know, Rishi Sunak came out and said recently said all the lockdowns were a bad idea and he didn't want to be part of it, but he still was part of it, and this is why the country is in the state it's in. So there you go. This is a news rant on the legacy of Boris Johnson. And don't forget, he did this.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Yes. Don't forget that he did that. You must stay at home. Oh, you must stay at home. Listen to me, the Prime Minister, because I am always right, and I know this will protect everyone from the deadly disease. Yeah, like it was deadly. I have had it twice, Boris, and I'm still alive. You had it, but you got ill and nearly died from it because you're unhealthy. There you go. So this is Paul. This has been slightly shorter than normal news rants, because this is on the legacy that Boris Johnson leaves behind. And, you know, I hope the next Prime Minister, which I really do hope is Liz Truss, because I think it's going to be, will fix this country, get rid of the green net zero claptrap, get rid of all the taxes on our bills that basically contribute to the net zero claptrap, you know, and also get the cost of petrol and diesel down, because we need to get it down further than what it is, because, you know, it's extortionate. So, I'll catch you in the next news rants. Don't forget, I am working on a special about North Yorkshire County Council. That's still forthcoming and should be on the feed very soon. So I'll see you in the next news rants.